I had a really good time racing in America, and I always tell everybody that when we are talking about the past, that my best time in my career was America. It was a little bit different from Europe, but the main reason was most of the riders were used to racing in the desert. So at that time in 1971, 72, it started changing more to motocross a little bit. And so I think the motocross people got more interested in riding more and more motocross at that time. And the desert races went on the background a little bit. It looked like, to me anyway. But in Europe it was just motocross and of course enduro riding what we had. And when we came over in the fall series a couple times, then Americans also saw us as the better riders at that time. But the Americans picked up very, very quickly because, you know, Americans, they are hungry for victories. I had the experience already from racing in Europe and winning many races there, international and national. I was 3 times the Dutch national champion in the 500cc class. And of course, riding races and training a lot, you obtain a lot of experience. And I brought that with me to America in January 1973. So that was a good baggage, we call it. Huh? And when I came over, it was tough racing because they were chasing me, and you know. But I won most of the races at the end of the race, like the last 15 minutes or so, when the conditioning started paying off. And at that time, the American riders also saw that I was physically very well trained. And they started asking me questions, and we started promoting motocross schools. So everything started growing and growing and growing in the 70s, in the early 70s. At the end of 1973, when we first got our monoshock bikes from Japan, everybody was just excited at the races, and they were all around us. And yeah, that was a very good move from Yamaha to change it so that we could go faster on the bike, of course. And also we had more suspension. So our rear suspension was very good then all of a sudden, but then the front was not so good anymore. So we had to really find the balance in the bike. And we did a lot of testing for it and a lot of practicing and meetings with all the people from Yamaha. But we got it pretty good at that time. I chose Yamaha because they seemed to me the nicest people at that time. And I was very fortunate to stay with Yamaha. It was a good choice. We were very, very lucky with many good results. And it was not because of me, it was because of the whole team that worked so hard. I always felt that I was part of the family with Yamaha. When I had a proposition for something, or if I wanted to change something, they always listened and had meetings about the problem, and we always tried to make the product better.